Hi, this is Isaac from Solar Cycle, and this is a coronavirus update for the tiny home build. Currently, I'm actually working from home, and I decided to try out the tiny home that is off-grid powered by solar power for this working at home test. So everything's plugged in, connected to a hotspot, and which is connected to my laptop, which I'm now connecting to my monitor, and currently everything's just completely off-grid. I have my lights on, I have the energy recovery ventilator running up there, which is letting fresh air in and stale air out, and it's being filtered. And so it's actually quite comfortable in here, and I can do all the work I need to do. And for instance, building a tiny home on 3D CAD using with power of the sun. So I'll show again the battery setup with the inverter, charge controller, and everything is just regular 120 volt 60 hertz AC. There's the wall socket back there. I'm using this temporary staircase as my stand-up desk, and I have a heater in the corner if I need it. And I can also show where the exhaust ports are for the energy recovery ventilator outside. So let me show how that works. So you can see right on the outside corner of that, where that transition area is, there's two vents. So one is inlet and the other is the exhaust. And so fresh air comes in on one side, and then exhaust comes out the other. And so the air doesn't mix, and then, as for example, warm air, if it's a cold day, if warm air comes out of the exhaust and cold air comes in, the energy recovery ventilator will warm the incoming cold air, so you don't waste energy heating up cold air. So another cool thing, you can hear all the noise from the outside, right next to some railroad tracks. And because this is such a well insulated tiny home, you could hear all sorts of trains and machinery. This is kind of an industrial section of town. As soon as I close the door, I mean, it is completely silent except for the sound of the buzz of the inverter. And this is a prototype, so a future version will actually have this all enclosed, so you won't have to hear anything. I actually kind of like the exposed setup, just because I'm kind of like the tech look, but it doesn't have to be that way. So it just shows you how productive you can be in a closed space, and that it's comfortable, versus something, for example, during this national emergency, there's ideas for FEMA trailers to come in, and I've heard that they're not that comfortable, and they're definitely not off-grid, so you will have to be tied to some sort of utilities, some hookups for sewer, water, and electricity. And something off-grid like this, you can hook up incinerator toilets, you can have water storage, or even just a little garden hose coming in. So you can have a completely independent workplace. And under a quarantine situation, it seems like either being holed up in your apartment with other people, or possibly self-quarantine, have the social distancing, and not be completely unplugged from everything. And that is what the idea for an off-grid tiny home is that there's no sacrifice in emergency situations, normal situations. It just feels like a regular house, and there's no sacrifice. The only difference is the space, but the quality, the comfort is not sacrificed. In fact, might even be better than your regular house, because you've actually designed it with the correct wiring, the correct hookups, the correct dimensions, and whatever you personally want, appliance-wise, furniture-wise, and the layout itself. So that's the update for today, and I hope this is a way to get ideas out there and kind of see alternative ways of living. That the technology, I'm not inventing anything new. All of this stuff is right off the shelf, from the battery to the inverter to the charge controller to all the plugs and wiring and materials. Everything is available right now, from the fans, ventilation systems, lights, all the energy efficient appliances, and is all available now. We have the technology, just have to put it together and improve people's lives. So hopefully that's something in a crisis like this, that it doesn't have to be that bad. It's definitely bad, but it doesn't have to be so bad that it's unbearable, that there is some sort of way to get through this in a much more humane fashion, and with the utmost attention to comfort, and without any loss of basic needs of a person. Oh, just one more thing. It's after 5 o'clock. I've been working remotely from home, from tiny home all day, off solar power, and there was no issues, full power the entire time, and the power of the battery actually went up to 100% while I was using the energy to work from home. And let me just show you the amount of energy produced for the day, which is 2.1 kilowatt hours for the day, and the battery's fully charged, and you can see the fuel gauge on the battery is at 100%. So that means that for the next day, when I'm going to do this again, that I'll have basically 100% power coming in. I'll probably leave the ventilator, energy recovery ventilator, running overnight so that the temperature is stabilized in the space, and I don't have to turn up the heat as long, and I can continue this process. So this is fully sustainable off-grid living and working from home without any issues, using current technology. And it's totally possible, totally easy to use, simple. You just walk in and it feels like a regular house. The size is smaller, but if you don't mind the size, this is a perfect alternative way to live, with no power bill and sustainable energy from the sun, and it just recharges itself for the next day. So thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe. and I'll come out with some more videos as the build progresses. And thanks for watching.